Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Next on Conversations with Clay.
I don't even know what the hell we was talking about, but shit.
Yeah, take it there. No, let's rewind.
Hit that rewind button.
Is it just me, or I think they already 3D printing all fast food? Because I don't care where I go, I freaking hate it, and I could be starving, and I'm like, what is wrong? Chick-fil-A was nasty the other day.
What?
So
not the Lord's chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
The Lord's chicken.
not Jesus, not Jesus Deluxe. Go ahead.
So I pretty much have come to the conclusion that fast food places is about to go out of business, because I believe it in my mind. When I start seeing something and feeling something, next 2 to 3 years, it's the trend. It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd rather go sit at Applebee's and get they 2 for $10, whatever.
Right, 2 for $20.
Then go to Jack in the Box or McDonald's. Or if you're gonna pay $20 for one combo at McDonald's,
right,
you might as well go sit down at Chili's.
Right.
True.
And these combos, something is not right. I don't care. They making it, something ain't right. They're not making it out of the same stuff they was making it out of before. It's even worse. It was bad then, but it's worse now.
This is true.
I thought it was a regional thing, because when I came here, I feel like I have not had any type of my normal fast food, like, meals that I'm like, oh, that one be hitting. No, not here. So I thought it was a regional thing. Like, okay, maybe Columbia is tripping. I don't know. But every time I get fast food, it's nowhere.
Jack and Crack. Go ahead. Yeah.
Unless they making it like a mom and pop's fish spot, or like a mom and pop's restaurant where they actually right there making it, or a restaurant. Even the restaurants ain't great, but it's better than getting you a combo from KFC.
Yeah.
Something. And now all of a sudden they talking about this 3D chicken and making these. Usually they tell you after they already did it.
Right.
That's just fact. So if they telling us now, that's what we eating right now.
It's already been implemented. Yeah, because
it probably was implemented a long time ago. We just didn't know it.
Well, we knew it. We knew it because we was like, damn, this ain't tasting. Whatever. I'm just gonna throw it away and keep it moving.
When they was telling us we was out of wings, but we had all them chicken breasts.
Facts. Make it
what
make sense.
What the hell?
Jesus.
The chicken come with all them parts. So
how we ain't got wings?
I know y'all trying to say that we eat all the wings and leave everything else, but so now it's more flat wings than anything else in the world.
Modified genetics, all that.
Modified, and that's all coming, and it's all coming.
And it makes sense because they look at the little Recycle America. You go to America's restaurants to end up in the American hospitals, to get prescribed American pharmaceuticals, drugs, to end up in an American funeral home. And we just gonna keep on recycling y'all ass.
Keep going all the time. And also too, the soil. Like sometimes I be thinking to myself, yes, growing my food is the way to go. But then I'm like, but then y'all contaminate the soil and you do it. Like I watched some type of documentary a while back. Am I talking like it was some documentary? It was some documentary, and this farmer had like a full like setup, like he was growing all this, and stuff started to be weird with his crops. And it was like a couple of lots down, they were contaminating the soil, and it was messing with his crops. And I'm like, come on, like you can't even grow stuff anymore. Like it's wild. I don't know.
Now that you're saying that, remember we was having all that farmer talk where they couldn't 2020. The farmers, they can't do this, they can't do that. We were seeing people, we were seeing chemtrails every single day after. I don't really see them no more, but you were seeing them. What the cows was dying out of the blue. This in the ocean, all these fish and whales, they've been. You think that's just all this coincidence, huh?
No, I think they just hitting the button and seeing. I always think it's some kind of test. Some kind of they're running a test to see how we're gonna react to it. You know what I'm saying? And just to go back to what Kelly just said, it was people arguing back and forth about being a vegan versus being a meat eater. And the vegans was running with well, you a meat eater and you don't know what they put in your food, and in the meat and this, that, and third, and this is how you get sick, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, hey, let's look at the veggies and fruit you're eating. It's
Absolutely.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then to go further, you're growing it yourself. You got contaminated soil a block down. So is it really organic? Is it really fresh and all that because you're growing it now that you know what you put? No, like it's the whole thing is tainted. It don't matter if you
And if you
vegan or
put
not.
chemtrails in the sky and then people waiting for rain so they crops to grow.
Right. And that's why we was talking about last time. It's just a never ending. I was thinking the other day, I was like, don't people say don't even use Tide anymore? They say don't use Tide because it got such and such in it. Then they say don't drink purified water. Now, granted, all of this is all, I'm sure there's people in the world that knew this a long time ago. I mean, Dr. Sebi knew this a long time ago. But like at my age, my mama didn't know that in the 80s and the 90s that don't drink purified water, don't do this, don't do that. So I'm already messed up. So we know I'm not, gonna be here until 100. But what I'm saying is that it just never fails. It's always something. And I feel like it's not even a test. I feel like it's a part of the overarching plan. You know what I mean?
I think they've
What's the
dumbed us
plan?
down where the test is not needed no more. They failed. The test has been failed and they are going ahead with what they plan was.
They're just implementing it.
It's just
Right.
implemented now. In the 60s and 70s, it was a test. That's when all this drugs hit and breaking up families and making sure they don't pay attention. We just
God
the
damn it.
residue off that crack at this point.
God damn it.
Right. It's probably like some type of people control. Maybe
Oh,
it's
yeah,
wipe out certain generations that are woke or had a certain, so they could start running new tests on the new generations and start doing different things on the new ones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
that's
let's make platforms. And let's make platforms so we can hear them talk. Because the ones that's trying to teach people, we want to hear what they talking about so we can counteract that.
Right.
Let's get them to throw their thoughts online so we can counteract what they know.
Hey, if you reach this part of the episode, we is fist to get canceled because I'm not cutting it off right now. Fist to let these ladies talk because what's happening right now, woo,
we still can't breathe.
Right. That part. And that
Everything
part.
is everything.
It's not an or, it's an and that part. Yep.
We
For
still
sure.
can't breathe.
For
COVID
sure.
or no COVID.
Right. And that's why I was saying, I don't think it's something where it's like, I don't care or people don't care. I think that there's so many infiltrators, if you will, to everything that it's like, okay, what do you combat first? Because you got 90 other things that you got to watch out for or do. It's like what you were saying about the vegans versus the meat. Like, yeah, you could tell me till I'm blue in the face, I'm wrong for doing this. You shouldn't be drinking this. You shouldn't be eating that. Yes, but all of the other stuff that you're doing is going to get you caught up just like me in a different way. Like you may have a couple of years on me because you're not eating chicken or because you do something, but you still get your nails done or you still, using that talcum powder or you still, there's
you're still standing in front of the microwave while you're warming up your food. Like,
right. It's always something. And I think it's the plan. We're just going along because it's a part of the plan. And it's not that we want to, we just,
it's just what we know.
This is the part of the show that they gonna block out and make sure nobody see. Y'all want to hear the biggest secret? How you combat all this? Change the way you think. Even if you can't do nothing with nothing around you. When you change your mind, you change how you view things. Once you change how you view things, the world has no choice but to move in that way.
Mm-hmm.
You project your reality. No, you can't change everything. But when you're aware, and you conscious of what you're doing and you like, I'm doing this, but like you making your own thoughts. You're not using what they project to you. That's what changes things. All you have to do is change yourself.
Yep. And just to double down, she's not talking about a collective. I got to get 10 people to buy into what I'm thinking. Just you. Just you.
One person.
That's it. Just you. If I think this way and I see this, all I think is evil and everything is bad and everything is negative, and that's all I'm gonna see. That's all I'm gonna project. But all
I think is no matter what, they can't win. That's it ain't nothing you can tell me. No matter what I see, no matter what they do, it's always gonna end up back swinging in a direction and hurting them. Yeah, it may hurt a little bit, but it's gonna kill them in the end. So no matter what happens around me, I know what the end is. This is great for me and my kind. And what I understand is, just like when we grow up, or now that we able to talk to each other on the internet, we notice our mothers said the same things, even though we in different states. We did the same things in our homes. We all we all watched Saturday morning cartoons before so once one person started thinking another way, the way we are wired in the universe, another person will just have a thought. You don't even have to be there with them. And the next person will have a thought. Before you know it, you will have all these socially aware, conscious people. And you be like, how did they know? How did you know? I don't know how I know. I just know.
Yeah.
I just know.
I just know. So once you start with you, it's automatically gone. It has no choice but to go out and hit other people, even if you're not doing it on purpose. It's gonna happen. That's universal law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't take nothing too serious. I see it happening. I don't, you know what I'm saying? When I know, and I don't get involved with it. But if not, and I trip, hey, players fall too. Still in the end, I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, players fuck up. Players fuck up.
You know, it's all right. It's okay to not do everything right. We supposed to be here having a human experience.
Right.
The point is to learn how to live with your spiritual and your human and not get off balance. Learn how to balance it. Do it both.
With your spiritual and your ratchet.
And your natural. You here to live this experience. You here to do that. So to try to be, that's what happens to them leaders. They're trying not to show people their bad side or their shortcomings. Then they get knocked off their pedestal and it's like, oh, we back to square one. If everybody just start showing a gift, but also being human and having their issues while showing a gift, it'll make other people feel like, okay, well, I could express my gift. Just because I have this shortcoming or just because I don't have that, don't mean that I don't have this to add.
That's
you
the
get
problem.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yep, that's the problem. Everybody expect whoever our leaders are to be perfect. They got to be 100% perfect.
And that's how they're able to kill them all.
Exactly. Like no, we're human at the end of the day. And I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, if you step up and you be the leader and you're doing some foul shit, like it's a pass. No. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna think like, or you're still human. Like, so you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make the mistakes, your past is gonna be drug up, and then it's up to me to digest it and say, all right, he's still or she's still whoever they are, and I'm gonna still follow whatever they putting out because I get it. But we collectively don't get it because it's funny. Or it's easy just to see. I knew they wasn't perfect. I knew whatever they was talking about, they wasn't. That's who they are. I knew they was on some bullshit. So that's them.
At the end of the day, no, we don't want our pastors molesting our children, right?
Facts.
But you can't have pastors that have a sexual past and had fornication, because the people that went through the most has learned the most. They have the most life experience. They can give you more. If you have no life experience, you have no knowledge. I don't care how, if you pure and you have never done anything, you can't teach me anything.
Facts. Facts.
And for some reason, people don't put that in their mind. It's the people that went through the hardest of times that can sit down and give you the most game. And you be like, wow.
I'm glad you said that, because next week I'm bringing on my brother. Forgive me, Rod, if I get your age wrong. He's in his 60s. I'm gonna say that. He's in his 60s and he has a story to tell. And he's been wanting to jump on the podcast for a minute. It's no disrespect to him. I just been running and I didn't want to bring him on because I'm like, man, we be talking about some crazy shit. I ain't want to. He's a pastor now, but he has a story to tell that I want to bring him on and just let him talk. And it's not gonna be, we ain't gotta, tighten up. We ain't gotta get scared, because when he start talking, you're gonna be like, well, shit, you did all that? Well, goddamn, this motherfucker.
Those are the people I want to learn from. Like,
period. He's not joining the Red Room?
He got some Red Room stories.
Sorry.
Exactly. She went there. I didn't. She went there.
I got lost. Like, what?
Freak. You little freak. But
still can't come to the podcast. I was just wondering.
You can take him to the Red Room if you want to. Whatever. Lord. No, he got some stories. He got some stories. He got some Red Room stories. He got some life stories. He got some experiences. But like, when I sit and listen to him, I'm just like, and you made it through all that?
Right.
Woo.
Right.
So yeah, no, I got.
Thank you for listening. This has been an A2I Media production.